Hello, everybody. One last quick video, hopefully quick, right? Before we go on our break. I hope you have a wonderful break when you go there, but you're not there yet. So get out those pads of paper and your pencils because we're going to take some notes. Today, we're going to be doing our quick lesson on order of operations. Now, that's going to be review for a bunch of you, and it's going to be new for others. But we're going to throw into there some other stuff that's tying into our geometry that we just worked on. I'm going to try to make this fast, but not too fast because I don't want you to miss anything. But please remember, all of the notes that you're taking throughout this entire video, I'm expecting to take a look at. So you'll take a photo of them and you'll turn them in so I can take a look at what you're doing. If I do feel like I'm moving too fast, you can always rewind the video and watch that part again. And then you could like put it, I don't know, is there like a speed? Could you like turn it so it goes slower? Maybe? I don't know. Then it would be like this and a really slow video. That, you don't want that. That'd be really weird. All right. So order of operations. We want to start with the word operations. Not surgery. No, not needed right now. Operations, what we're talking about that is adding, subtracting, multiplying, dividing, and then all those other pesky things like parentheses and exponents and other things like that, right? So when you, those are all the operations that they're talking about here. And when it says order of operations, there's a certain order that mathematicians that are much smarter than I am figured out. In order for it to be true, there's a certain order that these things have to be done in. And what I'm talking about is when you have a math problem that involves a combination of these things, that there's a certain order they have to be solved in order for the answer to be true. All right? So you probably have heard the order of operations as being something to do with an Aunt Sally. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. PEMDAS, right? That is the order of all operations, all right? The first thing is parentheses. That's the P for please excuse my dear Aunt Sally. Excuse, that's exponents. So I'll put a little exponent here. That thing, that's an exponent. So if there's any parentheses in the problem, those happen first. If there's any exponents in the problem, those happen after all of your parentheses have been resolved. Then multiplication, division, adding, and subtracting. That's the order. Parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, adding, subtracting. All right? Now, and this will make more sense if it's new to you. This will make more sense in just a few minutes when we go over our examples, all right? But there's a couple things that I want you to remember. That multiplication and division, they are best friends. It's true. And if there is a long sequence, a big expression that you're trying to solve that has multiplication and division in it, it doesn't matter which one of those comes first. They are happy to share. So if there's a division that happens before the multiplication, that's fine. It does not really matter. Division can happen before multiplication or after. It doesn't really matter. They are best friends. They share. Same thing with adding and subtracting. They are best buds. They hang out. They have sleepovers. They'll even both take a lick from the same lollipop, which is gross to me, but adding and subtracting, they're all over it. They love it. So they're best buds too. And so if there's a long equation you're solving that has adding and subtracting in it, it doesn't really matter which one of those. You have, whichever one comes first when you're reading it from left to right, whichever one comes first, adding or subtracting, you just do it in that order. All right. So adding and subtracting are best buds. Multiplication and division are best buds. But parentheses, kind of a mean guy. He's always wanted to be first. Exponents, same thing. But multiplication, division, they share. Adding and subtracting, they share. Okay, let's do some problems, all right? But I'm going to give you a moment to copy this down, right? All right, let's do a couple of examples. And I'm gonna not worry about recopying that part up there, all of it, but I am gonna write down PEMDAS. Please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, because we now know that P means parentheses, E means exponents, multiplication and division, boop, boop, bop, adding and subtracting, boop, boop, bop. All right, so here's our first problem. If I gave you the math problem, 3 parentheses 5 plus 6, we need to solve that. And so let's talk about it. Are there any parentheses? There are. If there are parentheses, whatever is inside of those brackets has to happen first. And spoiler, you can have parentheses inside of parentheses in some equations, right? So, but in this case, we just have a 5 plus a 6 inside of the parentheses. So let's do that one first. Bow. That's going to be, whoa, I dropped my pen. And I put black on my hand. But I'm wearing a black shirt. I think it bounced off my shirt too, but I'm okay because it's a black shirt. 5 plus 6, that gives me 11, right? So now I've got this, right? 3 parentheses, 11. Okay, well, there's nothing inside the parentheses that needs to be done anymore. So what is this, when this 3 is up against that parentheses, what does that mean? That actually means multiplication, because I'm saying I have 3 of whatever's inside here. Well, that's what it meant up here too. It meant I have 3 of this, but this happens to be 11. So 3 times 11 is 33. And that's it. Friendly as that. I'm going to let you pause it for a moment. Not to just write down 33. That doesn't help you. Not just to write the problem. That doesn't help you either. What helps you is the thought in between. So I want all 3 rows written down just like this. It's kind of like this inverted, like an ice cream cone. The PEMDAS is the ice cream. It's this nice tapering down shape. First step is the problem. Second step, and the answer. Write it all, please. All right, second problem. I have parentheses 4 plus 6 times 14 divided by 7. All right, perfect. All right, so here I've got a situation where I've got 2 sets of parentheses. Well, when that's the case, then you always move from left to right, just like you read in a book, left to right. So I'm going to start with the left, then I'll go to the right. All right, parentheses. What's inside the parentheses? 4 plus 6, that's going to equal 10 times. What's inside that parentheses? 14 divided by 7. Well, we all know that's 2. So the reason I put these in parentheses down here rather than just writing 10 times 2 is I just want to make sure that we are still focused on that this is what was inside of this set of parentheses and this is what was inside of this set of parentheses, because there may be a time later where there's lots of stuff happening inside that parentheses and we want to keep track of it. So then we're now in a situation where we get to multiply. 10 times 2, that's 20. We're done. Write it on down. All right. The next one, a little trickier, but you can do it. I have faith. Hi, Faith. I have faith in my class, and she's probably watching this video. All right. 3 plus 6 squared inside parentheses divided by 3. All right. So now, again, P first, parentheses, do what's inside the parentheses. Now here's the thing that's new. You probably already knew it because you're smart. The order of operations operates with what's inside the parentheses too. So there's something inside of the parentheses that we need to do first based on our order of operations up here. What is the thing that has to happen first? I hope you said that we have to do the part about exponents. because that's up here next on our list. There's no parentheses inside the parentheses. We've just got this set of brackets. But next is exponents. We got to do that part first. So it's going to be parentheses 3 plus 6 squared. What is that? Remember, the exponent 2 tells me how many times I'm multiplying 6 times 6, or how many times the base number, which happens to be 6, is multiplied times the base number, which happens to be 6. So this 6 squared, that means 6 times 6. That's what this means. All right, so what's 6 times 6? That's 36 divided by 3. I wrote plus, and I meant divided by 3. I said the words divided by 3, but I didn't write the symbol. Okay, so here's the problem. You're going to write this second step down too, because we are simplifying this expression. We're pulling it together, all right? What is now, there's nothing else inside of this parentheses other than adding, right? There's no parentheses inside of here. There's no exponents inside of here. There's no multiplication in here. There's no division in here. Adding, that's what's inside here. 3 plus 36. That's 39. And then we still have this divided by 3 out here. 39 divided by 3. Okay, so I keep simplifying the expression. Changing what I can change, but leaving everything else the same. Don't skip steps. No, no, no. All right, I am simplifying it by changing the one thing. Simplifying that by changing the one thing that can be changed. Simplifying this. Then we're going to be done. 39 divided by 3. I'm going to let you figure that one out. Thought I was going to tell you the answer. Finish that. Make sure that you write all these notes down. What is the answer? If I had Mario. Oh, you can't even see my little question mark with the thing. If I had Mario to bounce underneath it. Boink. Anyway, copy this down. All right. Next problem. We have 2 more. Hang in there. All right. 4 times 5 minus 6 plus 5 squared minus 8 times 2. What? That's painful. That's fine. You're fine. All right. Copy it all down. Take a moment before we even start it. All right, so got to go through it. Parentheses. What's inside the parentheses? We got to do this, and we've got to do this next. All right, those are inside of our brackets, so those happen first. All right, so going from left to right. Now I know some of you might be saying, but wait a minute, it says exponents here. That's supposed to be, yeah, we'll get to that one. But the parentheses, these brackets, sort of make this a contained expression that we need to solve. And this is a contained expression that we need to solve. And since we're going from left to right, we'll start with the left side first, okay? So within this expression, within these parentheses, we've got multiplication and we've got subtraction. Multiplication happens before subtraction, all right? 4 times 5, that's 20, minus 6. But check this out. Here we've got exponents. That's first, okay, within this set of parentheses. But then now we've got subtraction, and then here's multiplication. So it's going to go exponents first, multiplication is next, then subtraction happens, all right? So that's part of why it's really helpful to not skip steps, but to write out one step at a time. Let's solve it. So we've got 5 squared. Remember, what that means is 5 times 5. The base number gets multiplied together twice. So that's 25, right? Minus 8 times 2. That's 16. All right? The multiplication happens before the subtraction does. Even though When we're going from left to right, the subtraction is next, going from left to right. The order of operations says multiplication happens before subtraction does. So we have to look at this and go, oh, okay, we have to do this part first. Then we can subtract, all right? So write that whole next step down, please. All right. Now we've got still parentheses that are not done. Parentheses, parentheses. There's still independent things. We're going to go from left to right again. 20 minus 6, that's 14. Plus 25 minus 16, what is that? Yes, good job. 9. So now I have 14 plus 9. I'll let you solve it. All right, so now we've got, remember how last week we were talking about the formula for the area of a rectangle? That was base times height. The area of a rectangle, base times height. The area of a triangle, it was base times height divided by 2, because a triangle is like half of a rectangle or half of a square, right? The formula for the area of a trapezoid, it's a little funnier, and it allows us to practice our order of operations. It is 1/2 times height times A plus B. A being the top of the trapezoid length, B being the base, the bottom trapezoid length. However it is far across here is B, however far across it is here is A. The height, the 1/2 height, that's 1/2 of how tall it is. All right, and I'm not going to measure this. I've got some formula, some numbers we're going to throw in there for that. But I want you to remember that 1/2 height times A plus B works for this shaped trapezoid, and it also works for this shape of trapezoid. So I'm going to give you a moment to copy all of this down, including the diagram of this trapezoid and the diagram of this trapezoid, noting where's A, where's B, where's your height. A, B, height. Here is your trapezoid. Here's A, that's the top. Here's B, there's the bottom. Here's the height. We're having 1/2 of height times A plus B. Okay, I'll write the formula one more time. That is your formula for the area of a trapezoid. Show me that work, solve it up. Show me all the steps, just like we've been doing, all right? That is your assignment. I'll be looking for that in your notes, all right? Thank you very much, you guys. Have yourself a good afternoon, and I look forward to seeing you again later.